Today you're going to talk about the Litany of the Soul. Can you give me a little insight into what does that mean?
Well, the Litany of the Soul has to do with energy and what the soul carries and what it teaches us about ourselves. So it's about acceptance, abundance, compassion, gratitude, humility, energy, personal power, and dominion. All of these are very important in terms of how we view ourselves and how we view others. So it's really, really important if we can go by the Litany of the Soul, learn about it and practice it on a daily basis. That'll bring a little bit more quietness, peace, and acceptance to our lives.
You start with acceptance. Can you tell me what does that mean?
Acceptance has to do with accepting ourselves first. If we don't accept who we are, where we come from, our experiences, what we have experienced, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, we grow a real fear of rejection. And if we have lack of acceptance, then we have a fear of rejection, and therefore we go about rejecting everyone that doesn't fit into our idea of who we are. So it ends up being a threat more than anything else. If we can accept ourselves totally, we have no problem accepting anybody else, because we recognize the fact that we're all on a journey, and each journey is different.
How does that help our relationships with others?
Well, it helps in terms of accepting the other person for who they are, even though you may not always like them, you may not always agree with them, and you learn not to personalize what they may have about other people, or their judgments, or their lack of compassion towards other people. That just tells you about them. It doesn't tell you about you. You can become the example that they need, or the role model that they need. If you accept yourself, you will accept them where they're at. You'll meet them where they're at and accept them. It doesn't mean that you agree with them or that you like them. It just means that you accept them for who they are.
Does acceptance have also to do with accepting events and, just our lot in life?
Well, that's a much broader intellectual conversation. I don't know if we can open ourselves up to accepting all events that happen in our lives. Some things are deliberate, some things are not. So that's very subjective, and that's up to the individual.
Does acceptance or lack of have anything to do with bringing in stuff from our past life?
Yes, oftentimes it does. If we come in with the fear of rejection, chances are it's from a past life, and that's done on an individual basis if I'm doing a reading for somebody.
Abundance. What does that mean?
Well, abundance has to do with many, many things. Most of us in this society think abundance is money, and it's not. Abundance is all about what we have, what we've earned, what we're grateful for, the abundance of friendship, the abundance of a roof over our heads, the abundance of food on the table, the abundance for where life has taken us, being grateful for our experiences and the abundance that it brought. If you don't have any abundance, or if you can't celebrate abundance, it's because it's poverty of the soul. It's definitely a deep, deep feeling of not being good enough to receive.
Is that what poverty of the soul means?
Yes. Not good enough to receive. Lack of love. Lack of faith.
How can we go about changing our life?
You mean if somebody is carrying a poverty of the soul?
Yes.
Well, the first thing is about becoming aware of it and how it reflects their daily life around them. They may be shut off from the world. They may not be open to new things or relationships or just somebody saying hello to them. They may feel isolated.
What about compassion?
Well, compassion is about passion, having compassion for somebody else, having empathy for somebody. If we're lacking compassion, then we have judgment. You can't do both at the same time. Your ego is going to demand one or the other. Your soul might demand compassion and your ego might demand judgment. So it's a matter of becoming aware. If you're judging somebody, you're most certainly not relating to them in a compassionate way. So it's either compassion or judgment. And that's very easy to check with yourself in how you do that.